The next question I wanted to ask you, bro, is that what do you feel like are your most like slept on videos?
The motherfucking the 50 Cent video, Get Rich or Die Trying, bro. That shit that's one of my top favorite ones, but like that shit don't really got as many views as the other ones. I guess it's just the movie's not like as iconic of a movie. Like people still seeing it and shit, but it's like I just don't think nobody's checking for the movie in particular.
I think one of my favorite two of my favorite edits from that video. The first one was the of course the will be humping. After
The
the
will
guy
be
had
humping.
said that
Yeah.
he was like, no, if you want me to do something for y'all, do it. He was like, but what the fuck, pause? Who says that to somebody? Then he did a little finger motion and shit. He trying to play with your butt, Curtis. The will be humping. That shit was hilarious, dog.
You giving away the jokes, bro. Somebody ain't never seen that shit before is watching this.
All right, fine. I was
Oh
about to say the best joke ever in that video, but
no,
no, you know.
yeah, don't say the best joke. But oh no, the fucking Tales from the Hood video. I don't know if you saw that one, but that one's super duper. Like that's the only video I got that's under 100K views. I think it's because it got age restricted. I think it might have been like got
Oh, I didn't
reported
even know
for
that.
some horror shit or some
Oh yeah,
shit.
that definitely killed the views then
What?
if it got age restricted.
Probably yeah. Yeah, it got age, well. I'm saying yeah, it got age restricted, but I figured I don't know. I figured it was mostly adults watching my shit that they had accounts and shit. But I don't think niggas be having accounts and shit. So you gotta fucking
That's your only
you
video
gotta
under
log in
100K.
and
You
do all
said.
that shit. Uh huh.
Oh yep, I just peeped. It is. That's crazy. I mean, shit. That yeah. If it got age restricted, which I don't know why, that may just be.
Yeah, it might have been some scary shit happening and somebody reported it. I don't know.
So what is the idea behind like what you be putting like in your thumbnails? Because the title of your videos is always what happened in blank. But in regards to your thumbnails, like how do you be coming up with what you be saying? Because my favorite one is easily my favorite one is easy. I can't even say it. My favorite thumbnail of yours is the soul playing video. It's just this movie ass. This movie
yeah.
ass.
Yeah, that's basically it. Like I just sit there for a few seconds and be like, what am I doing and shit? And it's mostly just to get attention or whatever, get people watching it and shit, and to kind of summarize the movie. But it's always just gonna be some silly shit. There's no rhyme or reason to
Ambitious of a rapping mailman.
it. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
I'm gonna grab your refunds when you see
Yeah,
Tupac.
that's my favorite one probably. That's funny as shit.
Bro. Cause I never even like paid attention to the thumbnails at first. I would just simply look at the title, see which movie you was talking about, and then I
Yeah,
started
most
peeping.
people don't pay attention to the
I'm like,
thumbnails and
bro,
shit.
these fucking thumbnails are hilarious.
Yeah, they're supposed to be just a little extra thing. I figured most people aren't paying attention to the thumbnails.
I ain't gonna lie. In regards to the age restriction and like I don't know, like just YouTube demonetization shit, I was afraid your paid in full video would get demonetized because you had drugs, the movie, in the thumbnail.
Yeah, I gotta work on that shit too because I didn't know how on it YouTube was and shit. Like I didn't know they could scan the thumbnails and figure out if you got
Mm-hmm.
profanity and all that shit. But there's a whole science to it, and I read up on this shit, and basically it's just no cussing and no bullshit for like the first 30 seconds, and then you're good after that. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it and shit, but I did not know that. Like I'll be coming off the gate with fucking F bombs and N words and shit. So I probably got to ease up in those first 30 seconds and shit.
That was just something I learned from other YouTubers saying because I cuss. Because some people dead ass be think you can't cuss in your videos or it's going to be demonetized. I'm like, bro, you can cuss, just don't be super over the top with it. I say fuck shit like in my videos all the time, and I'm good. Like I don't got nothing
Yeah, yeah.
demonetized.
And
But
especially,
you got
it
to
makes sense.
not
Yeah,
come out the gate to it. Like, just like you said, you got to like say that shit later on in the video.
yeah.
I be having my little moments where I want to like cuss in the intro, but I'm like, no, let me not say that.
Yeah.
I feel like it'll get demonetized.
Uh huh.
Are there any movies that okay, how can I phrase this? Are there any movies that do classify as a hood movie and like you see people suggest it all the time, but like you personally you don't got no interest in doing it? Like, is there a part of you that thinks like, why do so many people keep suggesting this movie? Like, I don't really want to like do this shit.
It was like that with Belly. Like I hated Belly before I even did the video and shit. So I I kind of
I thought you said you never
I,
seen the movie before until you started making the video.
no, I've seen Belly before. I mean, I fucking there might have been something else we were talking about and shit, but I always hated it and shit. I don't think I hated it as much and shit, but I wasn't looking forward to it until I realized like, yo, I could kind of rip into it and then like make fun of it and shit. But then I'm like, then once I started making the video, I'm like, no, I'm doing it too much. Niggas are gonna get mad and shit. So it was a whole journey and shit. So I think there might be a couple of movies out there like that, but I know that before I even got into the channel, I knew Belly was going to be a big one that I didn't want to do and shit. But now that that's out the way, yeah, I don't think there's any things I can think of. Oh, maybe. Well, it would have been also some of the Medea movies. I had that same feeling about, but since my other shit, all my copyright shit, I got into about the Medea movies, like all the drama that shit caused. Like I'm not fucking with none of them shits.
Yeah, the Tyler Perry don't play no games when it comes to YouTube, bro. For real.
Apparently not, bro. The Boondocks was not exaggerating. I thought they were exaggerating and
shit. Winston Jerome.
You really shutting shit down out here,
bro. I be shit. What was it? I think it was the Belly video actually. Oh, so you had me dead ass go to Google and search up lyrics for a song just so I can find it. Like the clip you kept using whenever somebody had a gunfight in Belly, like to shoot it out, gun down, bankroll, large amount. I could not find that song for like days, and then I dead ass went to Google and just typed in "shoot it out, gun down, bankroll, large amounts," and then the song came up. I listened to that shit since then.
How were you trying to find it before you Googled the lyrics? Were you just
nothing? I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know the artist's name. I didn't recognize nobody's voice.
What? That's day one shit. Google the lyrics, bro.
That's why I ended up doing it. But I'm like,
I mean, yeah, but you should have known that by now. Like, how do you find songs otherwise and shit? That's always my go-to and shit. Google the lyrics.
There's a song that by Young T Grizzly and YNW Melly who I found by searching the lyrics for that shit, because it was this video by T Grizzly and Ha Davis and shit where it was like hanging out and like shit, and like during one of the little like transition slides he played it was like a little 5 seconds of like a clip of a song. I'm like, but this song sounds dope as shit, but like I don't know what it is. I don't listen to T Grizzly like that. But the part of the song that was played, YNW Melly has said, niggas fucking with their crew, say he really with the shit. Hell no, we a clique full of murderers. So then I just typed in those exact words in Google and I found the name of the song. Niggas fucking with the crew,
that's how it works, bro.
Hell no, we a clique full of murderers.
Of course, because there's lyric sites out there and shit. You search that text and the text is gonna come up and shit. It's gonna tell you what the song is and shit.
Bro, no, I've been doing that shit to do that
since I was a little kid, bro. Yeah, sometimes that shit don't be working and shit. Yeah, but most of the time that shit works.
But it took me years to figure out the name of Tupac's song, I Get Around. I used to type in round and round, round we go, and that shit didn't work.
Yeah, that's not good enough. Yeah, you got to get the right line and shit too. That matters and shit.
Round and round, round it goes.
Yeah, but like, some of them you can't be finding this shit. Like, there's the Playboy Cardi song and shit I've been looking for forever and shit that I forget some YouTuber used it and shit. And I Googled all the lyrics and shit, and I fucking could not find that shit. And turns out it's like an unreleased song or some shit. Like, I don't know how that shit works, but yeah, so I wasn't crazy and shit. But yeah, sometimes that shit don't work. But most of the time it works. You should have known that. You're a hip hop nigga.
I'm not, bro. Niggas be asking for too much just because I'm a hip hop.
You be giving up. No, I'm just saying, you be giving up on songs. Like, it be certain songs I'll hear and I'll be like, bro, I need to know what that song is. Like, I'm not giving up and shit.
No, I'm not that. I'm not that like driven about that shit. If I can't find it, I'll be like, all right, whatever.
Man, bro,
no, niggas expect a lot out of me just because I'm a hip hop YouTuber. I don't know what it is, bro.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just the YouTube culture in general. It's like, because you see like a generic type of YouTuber, they come on with their like the little fake voice, and they're basically just doing the same thing that TV niggas do and shit. So they're kind of like they kind of come off as like, oh, we're experts and shit. Like, they got like a bunch of like CDs and shit in the background, and like they seem like they're trying to play like the experts and shit. So
yeah, I ain't nothing like that, but I hate.
Yeah, I feel like people just kind of yeah.
I could easily go with the wave and just like start making shit just so I can get views and be mainstream, but if it ain't a nigga I don't listen to, I can't do it. Like, I just got done talking to a dude today who was watching my J. Cole like song record videos, and he told me to do one on Drake. I mean, I'm an honest nigga, bro. I told a dude right then and there, I'm like, bro, I don't listen to Drake, so that video, like, it's never happening, bro. Sorry. And then he was like, what about Lil Baby? I'm like, you listen to the most basic niggas like possible, dog.
Get him. No, I feel like, yeah, I feel like, what's the point of doing it? Like, I wanted to do YouTube, like, not even just for for money or whatever. I wanted to do it for creative freedom and shit. Like,
And the money.
if you don't have that freedom and shit, like, I mean, yeah, and the money. So yeah, I wanted to make money by being creative and shit and doing whatever I wanted and shit. But like, if you can't do whatever you want and shit, like, it kind of just turns into a regular job and shit. Like, you just might as well just, like, what's the point of shit? It's not fun no more and shit.
Bro, speaking of you saying get him, that's another one of my favorite edits you made. Because speaking of the fucking belly video, it was you used it in there when you was like, remember T-Boz, everybody's least favorite TLC person, get him.
Yeah, I feel bad. I shouldn't have said that.
Hey, unpopular opinion though. Unpopular opinion. That shit wasn't that funny though. Other than the get him part, that whole roast that Jamal did to Dean Cain, that shit wasn't really that funny.
What Jamal did what? Oh yeah,
And how high when Jamal was roasting Professor, that shit not funny to me.
You know what? How High itself has its moments, but it's not that funny and shit. Like, niggas overplayed that shit just because it was Method Man and shit. That shit not that funny. It's got some good moments though. It's got some super funny moments and shit.
Yeah, I figured if I study high, take the test high, get high scores, right?
Yeah, right. And then the fucking, like, their homeboy died and they smoked their homeboy, whatever. It's like funny moments and shit. But it's like, yeah, but it's like fucking, yeah, that shit was.
That's like the most iconic part of the whole movie. And I ain't gonna say I never thought it was funny. It just started to grow off me after a bit. I'm like, bro, why do niggas laugh at that? This shit not really funny to me.
Yeah, and you got to think it was a different environment there and shit, like back in the day and shit. Like, it was just the 90s and shit, so niggas are just, they still got that 90s humor and shit. Whereas
I think that was on the brink of like 90s, 2000s. I think How High came out in like 2000.
Yeah, it was in 2000. Yeah, it was 2001, 2002. I'm saying it was still like remnants of that because that's early 2000s. Like,
recovering from the bullshit.
Yeah, like there's no like decades don't really get set in until like mid to late decades and shit. Like 90s niggas like weren't really 90s niggas until like 95, 96. That's when the defining moments came out and shit. So I don't think, I think they were still kind of using leftover 90s humor and shit.
Shit, are there any other movies that like you would say like grew off of you and shit? Like you don't enjoy them as much
that weren't
anymore?
that good? Off the top of my head, I don't know. I don't know. I be finding a lot of movies that it's like the reverse, where I thought they were kind of shitty and they were all right. I know one of them that is like what you said, where I don't like them as much, was ATL and shit. Like, I used to super like ATL when I was younger and shit, but like now I got older, I'm like, I get it.
That Star 69 joke was the worst shit in mankind. I never thought that shit was a joke. Like I was reading the comment on your videos and somebody said that. I was like, that was a joke this whole time? I didn't even know.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I didn't even like. I remember her saying it and shit, and I remember not getting it, and I just remember moving on. Like, I just like thought. Yeah,
I thought it was a regular sentence. Yeah,
yeah, right. Like, I'm not a hoe, and I'm like, that make you a hoe? All right, I guess that's Atlanta niggas thing. They just be calling niggas hoes or whatever. Like, I didn't put no energy into it. Yeah, it was. Neither did they, by the way. They didn't put no energy into that shit either.
Like, that shit flew over my head tough as hell, but I don't feel bad about that bullshit. Like, I'm glad it flew over my head.
Plus, like, in the way they introduced their names and shit too, like, they just introduced their names and shit, so you can't like expect us to like
put that together that fast.
A play on words of her, a play on words of her name. Like, I don't like their names flash across the screen, and then that's as much as you get, and then they do the joke a couple of seconds later and shit. It's like, all right, whatever. Like, okay.
Shit, I'm trying to think. So, was there any other movies where that was the case? Like, you used to fuck with it heavy, but like time went on, you like, man, this shit ain't all that. I'm trying to think of a movie myself that I used to fuck with. I'm like, yeah.
Crossover.
Nah, but that shit ass. Why do you love that movie so much?
I liked it the first couple times. I'm starting to get it now. But no, why did you were the one suggested? You said you saw it millions of times.
You messaged me. It was like, bro, do you want to hop on a collab episode with me?
I'm gonna hang up. I don't need this.